When Josh and Bethany Allen attended a wedding reception, little did they know it would be the precursor to a new business endeavor. How does this start to transform into a business from just being something you and your husband learned about at a wedding?
I think it started to be fun. I think it started, you're seeing
Fun
money.
for both of you?
Fun for both of us.
6 years later, they've got 7 restroom trailers and need to make big decisions on the future of the business. Listen in. Bethany, you were an occupational therapist, and I think still are, but you were doing occupational therapist work, and then all of a sudden, you own a restroom trailer. That seems like a weird jump to me.
Yeah. So I'm going to blame it on a couple drinks at a wedding reception. And here we are. So never.
You can't just say, I'm going to blame it on a couple of drinks at a wedding reception, and here we are. There's a lot of things that started with a couple of drinks at a wedding reception, and here you are. But owning a restroom trailer isn't one of them.
Yeah. So at that time, I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. I love my job. I still do. I still work with kids right now. But my husband, he's a handy son of a gun, but I will say he's always busy. Like he's a busy man. Like he likes to be busy, hands-on all the time. And he would do little side construction jobs. And we were talking prior to said wedding about him slowing down a little bit. We had one child at that point, that he likes to do these side jobs that, you don't need to do this kind of stuff. Well, lo and behold, we go to this wedding and there's a restroom trailer. And we had never been in one before, this luxury restroom trailer, beautiful. And he gets in it. And then he said, I think I could build one of these. I think I can do this. This is it. And we put the brakes on for a little bit, but talked about it later that day or later the next day when there weren't so many drinks. And it actually didn't sound like that bad of an idea.
The first time anyone ever gets into, I remember the first time I went into a restroom trailer, everyone always has this stereotypical thing in their head about a portable toilet, different animal.
Yeah.
When you jump in one of these trailers, it really feels no different than walking into a bathroom, whether it's in someone's house or even to the scale of like a nice hotel or something like that. Is that where like this aha moment comes from the two of you? Because you'd never been in one and you're like, this is different.
I think my aha moment was that. So, this is pretty. Oh, it doesn't smell. I don't mind being in this toilet. Like, this is nice. He's looking at it from, I could plumb this. I could look at the frame of this. Like, he's looking at it from this whole different side. I don't know why we ever thought, like, this is going to be a business. Like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try this. But
you said you were talking about some things before this. Were you specifically talking about like, let's buy portable toilets?
No.
Or were you specifically saying, let's try to figure out something we can do on our own that isn't our day job?
No, we were specifically talking wife to husband, telling him, slow down. We've got a kid now. Pause it. That's
I'm going to guess your husband's probably a little ADHD. Is that the underlying factor?
I would say undiagnosed, but
yeah, anybody who's over the age of 30 is undiagnosed. Yeah. That's a recent diagnosis.
Yeah.
Call it what you will. Call it what you will. I think people who are I hate the term ADHD. I really do. I'm sure I'm probably undiagnosed ADHD. It just means like your brain is always thinking about, I could build that. I could do that. I want to do something different. I can't be idle.
Yes.
You just described that.
Yeah.
Now you're deciding, well, to not be idle, we might as well try this. Is it just like you went home and talked over dinner and now all of a sudden you pull the trigger and you're renting a portable trailer? Walk me through this.
No. So I would say we talked about it for a while, just randomly, like not really, not pushing it. Like it wasn't like a, yes, this is going to happen type of conversation. It just would keep coming up. And we kept talking about that one time at that wedding and this trailer. So it just kept coming up in conversation. And then he had been talking to someone else, a local gentleman that owned a business, brought it up to him, just randomly said, that he was thinking about this whole restroom trailer type of thing. And this guy told my husband that he thought he knew someone that was trying to sell an old one that he no longer needed for his company.
And those are hard to come by. So that kind of falls on your lap. What year is this?
This is 2019.
So
And
2019, a portable toilet trailer somewhat kind of falls on your lap.
yes. And I will say at that time, like I prayed about it because I'm like, I do not know what are we doing? I don't know this path. I don't know. We go to meet this gentleman whom I had never met before. And here we go to a larger church around here too. And here we found out he also goes to our same church. So I was like,
so he's local, like close.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, super close. And so we went, checked it out, and it did need some love. So it needed some renovating. And for the price point that it was, it just seemed like if we're going to try this, we're going to try it at this price point.
One thing you're kind of triggered in my head right there, a common misstep a lot of new business owners do.
Yeah.
Although you already said your husband was handy, so maybe this helped.
Yeah.
But a common misstep is to buy used equipment and then realize it's not dependable. It isn't doing what it needs to do. But did you go through this whole trailer first and because you knew that could be an obstacle?
Yeah. And he kind of knew. So he knew what to look at with that kind of stuff, I guess. And the gentleman that we bought it from was completely transparent and super nice. And they ran it, did everything that it seemed fine.
You buy this trailer. How do you find a place where you can start renting it? Because it's great to own it, but.
Yeah. So I started, as we were renovating this trailer, we started thinking about what's our name going to be? What's our business going to be? Starting to do a little bit of homework for those certain things. So I did make like an Instagram page or Facebook page, I think at that point, and just did some coming soon. Like, here's what we're doing. And I would show a couple before pictures as we were easing into like just rebuilding this trailer. So at the same time, we had some friends that were local starting a venue that had seen these pictures that we were also renovating a trailer. They ended up needing a trailer for a seasonal rental for their wedding venue.
So they own the wedding venue.
Yep.
And you were fortunate enough to fall into a complete season of rental versus like a weekend.
Right.
That's you've got this trailer, you drop it, it's a seasonal, you're still new to this business. You admitted like, we're just kind of learning things as we go, including the marketing and everything to do with it.
Yep.
But how do you understand even like how to service this trailer and how often does it have to be serviced? Like those are things people don't know until they know.
No. So when we didn't either. And Josh, it's my husband. So he was saying right when we got this trailer, he was already looking into some form of a suck tank, like something for the septic waste. And he's trying to sell me then on this used, I don't know what it was, some tank, whatever it was. I told him, I was like, this is some suck tank, something to suck the poop. So I'm like, no, why would we do this? I had no idea how much it would cost for us to actually have someone come pump it all the time, and kind of how that revenue would end up working for us if we were to have our own tank and be able to do it ourselves.
The short answer is it was probably not cost effective to outsource the pumping because there went all your profit.
No, it wasn't. And so he found a used one that thankfully Pickrite, it was a Pickrite tank, and Pickrite is very close to us as well. So he took that tank to Pickrite, got it fully serviced to make sure that was good to go. And they taught him how to operate it.
Now, when you say tank, is this a tank truck? Is it a slide-in unit? What is it?
Yeah, it was a slide-in unit.
So he bought a slide-in unit used again.
Yep.
And it happened to be Pickrite, and Pickrite's in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So again, the stars align second time in a row for you.
Yeah. Worked out quite well. So Pickrite helped us out in navigating it, figuring it out. So thankfully he was taking care of that himself. And then we didn't have to outsource that piece of it anymore.
So 2019, you've already got a trailer and your Pickrite slide-in unit, and you're servicing this trailer. Do you enjoy it? How does this start to transform into a business from just being something you and your husband learned about at a wedding?
I think it started to be fun. You're seeing
fun
money.
For both of you?
Fun for both of us. Yes, because I'm sociable. And so I really enjoyed getting to be the person behind the phone and talking to our clients. And I guess I'm jumping a little bit because we had to get more trailers, right? So I'm talking to more people and getting more weddings.
You're jumping way ahead because the question, so you had a trailer, and I'm asking, you already spilled the beans, I guess. You bought more right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
so,
you went and bought multiple right off the bat. What's the time frame here?
No, hey, well, I'm not buying multiple. He had to sell me enough on a suck tank, let alone multiple trailers. But no, just another one. And then I wanted to see how busy can we keep this second one. So we did buy, the second one was a new one that we got through Ready to Go out of Pittsburgh. And Mark Rosen owns that company, and he helped me so much because I would be calling Mark constantly asking questions, because at that point, keep in mind, we had one trailer at one venue. We gave them a price. That's all I knew. And so now we're getting a second trailer, and I'm getting calls, and I don't even know what to say. Like, for someone that what do I charge for someone that we're taking it for 2 hours away? What do I charge for someone that it's here? Like, I didn't know.
Interesting you say that. And so Mark walked you through all this.
He helped me give me some price points from, now he's in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, larger city area. I am in central Pennsylvania. Like, there's not much around us. And so I'm sure that there's different price point changes there, but he actually not only owns this company that does nationwide sales, but he also has his own fleet. So he was able to help me with so many questions that I thought were, I don't want to come across as stupid or naive or, ignorant, but I didn't know. I truly did not know.
I don't think any startup business owner should ever feel that way. You don't
Right.
know what you don't know. And if you
Right.
want to get into something and you have the intestinal fortitude to do it, which you guys did clearly,
Right.
it's probably better to ask somebody than to just guess.
Correct.
And especially when you're doing something where you've got equipment expenditures, time, all of this. So you're buying these trailers. They're not inexpensive. You said you bought the second one. Did you say you bought it new or used?
New.
The second trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So you bought the second trailer new. I know what they cost, ballpark. They're well into, 5 figures.
Yeah.
You've got this second trailer. Mark's helping you along. Josh is doing all of the delivery and service work then, and he's still working full time.
Yeah.
And you're still working part-time as an occupational therapist, right?
Yep.
You got 2 trailers, and this is around 2020-ish at that time.
Yes.
What does the growth look like beyond that? Because you I think earlier you said we bought trailers.
Yeah. Well, we end up getting that trailer, and it ended up being a long-term rental that it's been at for years.
Where are you getting the money to fund all this? Is the business cash flow positive at this point?
So I want to say, I guess it's cash flow positive back into the business. Like, everything's just kind of been going back into it.
Well, that's good though. I mean, I think that smart business owners recognize that taking every penny out of a business and putting it in your pocket isn't long-term sustainable.
Correct. And it's definitely showed me, I'm not one, if I don't have the cash, I don't want to spend it. I'm just like the cheaper of Josh and I. I don't want to owe anybody money. I don't want to do this kind of stuff, but I've learned so much, even with equity and other resources, and how beneficial it is to do this kind of stuff. And the long-term rentals that we've had for certain jobs. And we've now at the point, we're up to 7 trailers in our fleet. And it's been kind of constant growth, but with that growth comes still uncertainty.
How are you, to go from 1 or 2 trailers, fine. That's something you can handle on nights and weekends,
Mm-hmm.
just the 2 of you in your, what I'm going to call spare time, for lack of a better term.
Right.
Now you go to 7.
Yeah.
At this point, isn't it a business more than just you and Josh doing things on the side?
Yeah, I would say so. The nice thing, so there's some trailers that have been out at long-term rentals where those ones are nice because they sit and it doesn't take as much time if we have to go to them and check on them, versus weekend weddings where you're constantly go here, different directions and all sorts of stuff. So it's still been at least manageable for him and I in this current moment.
But you're both still working, right? Josh is still working too.
Yeah, but Josh has his full-time job. I still do OT evals. I kind of have more control. I let them know how many I want to do. And then Mark, actually, I've continued to hound him all the time with all my questions, that he actually asked me to be part of Ready to Go as well and doing nationwide trailer sales.
So you're working a third job? Is that, did I follow?
You did. Yeah. I do it all. And I enjoy it. So far, it's still manageable. But now, and I think it's good because I'm sure there's people that come on that already like they know all this stuff and everybody knows, well, we're in this limbo right here where it's, do you stay? Are you content where we're at? It is just him and I, and we can manage it. Or where do we go from here? Because if we're going to grow in certain aspects, we can't just do it just him and I.
So you're at the, is what you're telling me, you're at the point where you feel like you probably need to hire somebody?
Yes, or we need to make that decision. Like
Okay.
we're kind of, that's been the topic of conversation lately for.
I'm surprised you survived this long not having to. I get that you can handle, let's call it the customer service aspect of it, and Josh can handle the delivery and service side of it.
Yep.
But still, with 7 trailers, even if they're sitting on permanent sites, so to speak, there's still a lot of moving parts there. And now you're telling me Josh still works full time.
Yeah.
You still work part time as an occupational therapist, and you somehow got roped into selling toilet trailers now, which probably helps you learn even more, even faster, because now you're immersed in the business from a different perspective. You can talk the talk, walk the walk.
Right. But it's also given me opportunities to talk to other people that are in the same boat as me. So yes, here I am. Of course I want to sell you a trailer. Like, who doesn't want to make the sale? Like, that's great. But then I'm also collaborating with these people because especially, I mean, now keep in mind, there's some people that we sell trailers to that are well beyond, their beginning stages, but other people that I can network with that I'm asking them, okay, well, what are you going to do next? Like, what do you think? What, and just figuring this out, collaborating with other people that are on the same level, but then not where I'm at, has been so great.
Well, both have to be advantageous in their own right. You can learn a lot from somebody who's already seen a lot.
100%.
You can learn a lot from people who are just like you, who are learning day by day, year by year. I mean, not that you're
people that are willing to give that to you too, because there's some people that, just, I don't know, the conversation just doesn't feel, I don't know. I mean, they're here to buy a trailer. They're like, all right, Bethany, like, let's go. Like, they're, people that are busy, but other people that just love spreading it and knowing that, like, hey, this is a great business to be a part of.
Okay. Well, let's go backward a little bit. Right now you're on the cusp of trying to decide if you need another employee. Mm-hmm. You're at a point where you can handle 7 trailers on your own. Mm-hmm. Like, when are you going to make the transition to this becoming a full-time business? Or is that something where you're just kind of, you go day by day because you want to get it right? What's the mindset right now with the business itself?
I think that's a great question, because I don't know that Josh and I 100% know that right now. I think it's hard where here, our benefits are under Josh for his full-time job that he has. And so there's a lot that's still relying on that, where we can't fully take him from it. But even if we were to fully take him from it, I don't know that it doesn't feel busy enough, especially for him as a busybody, to be completely full-time for him.
Is it not busy enough because you're choosing to not make it that busy?
That's a good question. See, I don't know. I feel like we could definitely dive in a little bit more with more marketing, more like pushing it, maybe even go further away than what we want to go and travel a little bit more. Try to get in more with other construction. There's different avenues. I think we could be pushing it more, but we are in a place now where it's kind of like, all right, how and when and what's that going to look like for us? And what do we need to change if we want to take that on? And I think when the wet show, we talked to some people about that, trying to, I don't know, just kind of navigate that thought process right now. Because I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have been in the same shoe where here you are and you're like, all right, what do we do?
Because to me, it sounds like there's a little bit of being content because you both have good, solid jobs, paying benefits, things like that. So it's still a leap to say, we're going to quit this given and go full time into this portable restroom business. is that maybe a little bit of the hesitancy there? Like, you need to really have this proof of concept down, even though you've been doing it for 5, 6, or 7 years. To your own admission, I use these terms and they sound so loose, like it's still only part-time, but it is, like what's it going to take for you two to decide we're doing this all in? What needs to happen?
I think we need to have, if we're going to say all in 100% with a whole bunch of stuff, I think that there would have to be someone that can do a lot of the service piece that he does. And maybe that's going to be me. I don't know. I shouldn't be allowed to drive our trailers, but maybe I'm going to put my big girl pants on and learn how to drive some of these things. Because there's some fantastic people that can do this kind of stuff. And not that I hold myself, but I don't think, I'm shocked I have my own license. But I think there's some things that if someone's not going to work first, it'd probably have to be me, where my benefits, all the benefits are under him.
It sounds like the missing ingredient is finding the right person, whether it's you or someone else, to take this business to the next level. Is that something you're actively working on, or that's just something you're talking about?
It's a new conversation for him and I, especially leaving, you leave like the wet show and constant conversation on our way home. Like, what do we do? What's next? What's next? How do we do this? Who are we going to figure out? Who are we going to trust? Because this is our baby for us that we're still trying to learn everything and navigate. But now we need to find somebody that, I think if we could have someone that we could trust with transporting, setting up the trailers, helping with servicing, I think that piece is teachable as well. And maybe it could be teachable to me. Maybe there's certain things that I'm not doing as well that I could learn. But it's hard when I'm also wearing 3 different hats as well right now, with doing pediatric OT, working the everything else on the side of our business, and then doing the nationwide sales. So it's a little bit, I'm going to stay in my 3-lane highway right now for myself.
If you find this key component that right now is admittedly missing, where do you see the business 10 years from now? Or what's the hope 10 years from now?
How old would my kid be? Can they drive? If my kids could be navigating, when can we hire the babies out? Have them be trained?
I don't think anybody's paying attention to labor laws in Pennsylvania or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I think 12 years old, you'd be fine.
Get behind the wheel, babies.
Right.
My boys can do it. I mean, it would be, when I think about 10 years from now, hopefully Josh would even be retired from his other job, that this would also be something that's going to keep him busy. Because like, as we've said, he is a busybody, that I think that when he's able to retire from his position at his age, he's still going to be young enough that he's going to have to stay busy. So it would be great if this is something that's still happening well enough that he can kind of navigate that even more. But we don't want to wait until then. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he could transition into it, and now he could work in his retirement.
Right. Joy.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's hard. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen a year from now, 5 years from now. I don't know. And that's been part of the beauty of this, is a lot of it has been an unknown job, an unknown endeavor for us to take on. But just trying to say yes as we go along and kind of navigate and learn as we go, and know that there's certain people that we can find to help us and figure things out. I mean, in the midst of our entire business, I lost my dad unexpectedly. And through that, there was just this not strange. I mean, I guess he always kind of raised me to be kind of how I am, but that life is just so short that if we don't try crazy things that are put at us, like, what are we gonna, we're never gonna know one way or another. But with that being said, you can be in a job and have no idea what you're doing, but we have to figure out certain paths. I think no matter what, you're going to get to these certain spots where you're like, all right, well, either we're going to be content and we're going to stay and we're going to see how this rides out right here and now, or we need to make a decision and navigate a different path.
Looking back at the last 5 years, would you have done anything differently?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, I think it's been crazy. But I think with us not knowing things and the way that things that were handed to us and the way it kind of all fell into place, I don't know that I would have even had a choice to do something different. So I'm very happy with kind of the crazy unknown journey that we have taken and still continue to ride out and take.
For more information on Josh, Bethanie, and Stoney Ridge, please visit StoneyRidgeRestrooms.com or talk trailers with Bethanie through Ready to Go Restrooms.